top things you shouldn't be doing to your skin. Hi, I'm Dr. ATHRÉ with ATHRÉ Facial Plastics in Houston, Texas. I'm a double board certified facial plastic surgeon, and my primary specialty is facial rejuvenation. All of us have seen TikTok and all of these other social media things about how to keep our skin looking good, feeling good. So there's a ton of different options out there, and every day we are being bombarded with new products, pictures, Instagram stories, TikTok stuff, and even old wives' tales. Let's add that to it. So all of these things together creates a lot of confusion about what we're doing to our skin. In this video, I'm going to give you some of the top things you really shouldn't be doing to your skin. I'll also kind of throw in a few little side notes of stuff you probably haven't heard of and you can try on your skin with very low risk to your skin. The name of the game is protecting this thing out here. The skin is essentially a barrier, and it is the largest organ of your body. Its main job is to protect the insides from this external environment out here. Now, that skin is built up of multiple different cell types. So you've got tons of cells in here that are all doing different things. You've got skin cells that are important for making skin, as well as this oily substance on the top called sebum. Then you've got melanocytes in there that are responsible for doing some of the color portion. Then you've got other supporting cells in there that are building collagen and elastin, which are plumping up the skin so that it can have its form and structure. All of these cells together are working together in concert to give you this. Now, as we age, there are effects that are happening within our skin. You look in the mirror, you see lines, you may see spots, you may see whatever those little fine things that bug you are, and then you immediately see this thing on TikTok going, gosh, I gotta do that. So before you run to those things, check out this video and make sure it's not one of the things on the top things you shouldn't be doing to your skin. Alcohol-based toners. So alcohol is a drying agent, okay? So when we look at our skin, we've got cells in our skin that make something called sebum. Sebum is the oil that you see on your skin. It actually serves a very important purpose. We may not like the shine that it gives off in photos and things like that, but it actually has a very important surface. It's protecting this actual surface of the skin. So if you have too much oil production, there are things that you can do to reduce that oil production. Things like retinol and retinoids will reduce that oil production. Alcohol-based toners, I'm not a big fan of, because I think it's just kind of a very harsh, very rapid result trying to just strip everything off the surface of the skin. It's kind of like taking a fine piece of furniture. So let's say you have like a table and you say, hey, I've got a little scratch in it, and you can, take your time and use a little bit of sandpaper and maybe get through the scratch, or you just get this huge chemical stripper and strip the whole thing off. That's, I think, a good way of thinking about an alcohol-based toner. So at the end of the day, you're probably doing a little bit more bad than you are doing any good. 2, exfoliating scrubs. So again, this is the same kind of thought process. A little bit of exfoliation is actually good. Okay, so as these skin cells turn over, you are going to get a little bit of flaky skin and things like that. And every so often, a little bit of light exfoliation is good. It takes off those top layers of dead skin cells. It promotes new skin cell growth. So exfoliation, a good. However, just because a little's good, a lot's not better. So what happens is that if you really go for something that's super abrasive, super deep, you're really taking off even some of the fresh new baby skin underneath, and you can actually cause a lot of skin irritation. So there's a fine balance between just taking off some of the dead layers of skin and actually becoming essentially a belt sander, taking off too much at one shot. Heavily fragranced creams. I know for one, I do like fragrance. It's something that I enjoy. I like things that are very cleanly scented, and we all have our own personal preferences. However, your face is not the place in order to make this experiment. So heavily fragranced creams, moisturizers, things like that, one of the big problems with it is you can create quite a bit of sensitivity in the skin. So if you have the type of skin that has some degree of sensitivity and you're doing other treatments or products, whether it be exfoliation, whether it be a light chemical peel, whether it be a retinol, you're increasing the sensitivity of the skin. You put something that has a heavy fragrance aspect to it, and it's going to just rebound and exponentially increase the sensitivity. So what can actually happen is you can have allergic reactions, you can have patchiness of the skin, and this can lead to downstream problems and even scarring. So if you're going to use a moisturizer, please use something that has very little fragrance, which is completely hypoallergenic. One of the things I love to tell my patients, look for baby products. If it's formulated for baby skin, your skin is going to do just fine with it. And if you notice, a lot of baby products have very, very minimal to no fragrance for that reason. Baby skin is very sensitive, and we don't want to create irritation on their skin. Expired skincare products. So if you are like any of my patients or my wife or any woman I know, there is a huge box of skincare that is underneath the sink. It has a million different products, half of which you don't even know when it was procured, some of which is probably still in the original box that was bought in. So one thing to really look at is the expiration date of these products. So when skincare is made, there are chemicals that are being put in this skincare. They could be, whatever, it's a sunblock or whatever it is. There are chemicals that are being formulated and put into this tube. Those chemicals have a shelf life. They tend to degrade. They can decompose and create other chemicals. So therefore, as you go past that expiration date, the effect, it's not just that it may not actually work, it may cause actual bigger problems than it is actually helping. Because just as, for example, wine turns into vinegar as a chemical reaction, the same way your products are still decomposing over time, especially with exposure to oxygen and things like that that's in the air. This is why they put an expiration date on these products. If it's expired, chunk it. Not worth taking the experiment on your skin. DIY skincare products. Who doesn't like a great deal? Okay, we all see the TikTok videos and someone goes in there, puts something on their face and go, wow. Okay, so some of these things actually work and some of them don't. So lemon juice. Lemon juice actually is a alpha glycolic acid. So if you're doing a very mild alpha glycolic acid peel, you probably can get the same result with lemon juice. But here is the caveat. Is this an experiment you want to be trying at home as a non-healthcare professional? So when I do a chemical peel on a patient, I'm looking at their skin. I'm looking at what the depth of the peel is, what the reaction to the peel is, how sensitive the skin is, ... It's not just to put it on and let's see what happens. So does lemon juice work? Absolutely. Now, if you are a skincare professional, you know everything about skincare, and you say, hey, listen, I want to use an alpha glycolic acid, I think lemon juice works. However, again, there are much better products, and this probably isn't something you should be trying on your face. Toothpaste, okay? So toothpaste is this magic chemical that does a lot of different things. It's really designed with a little bit of abrasive in order to actually clean your teeth, because the plaque on your teeth is pretty thick. So it has a little bit of abrasiveness in order to clean the teeth. So for example, if you want to polish some metal, I know there's a lot of TikTok videos using toothpaste because it actually works really well. It's a polishing compound. That doesn't mean that that translates in your skin. It's the same thing as your grandmother's favorite silver candlestick. Save it for the candlestick, not your face. Now, the other thing is cheap chemical sunscreens. Okay, we're probably going to have a lot of talks about skincare, and one of the main things we're going to talk about when you talk about skincare is protect it from the sun. The sun does a lot of bad stuff to the skin. There's one good thing that the sun does, which is give you vitamin D. Okay, I am going to give you the thumbs up on that. However, for that one little caveat over here, you've got skin cancer, you've got premature aging, you've got loss of collagen, you've got loss of elastin, you've got hyperpigmentation. There's a lot of stuff going on over here. In order to protect your skin, one of the top things you need to do is use sunscreen. Sunscreen is something that's very important to use every day. Okay, so even if you're not outside. So the thing that I tell my patients is get a very high quality sunscreen. We have some here at the office. If you're curious, you can always call the office and order it from here. And this is very good for a daily basis sunscreen. So you're walking around, going to the office, you're going to the grocery store, works great. However, if you're going to be that kind of person who's outside, who's playing tennis, who's swimming, who is going to the beach, who's going to work in the backyard, and you're in a hot climate like Houston, there's a lot of sunlight, very intense, that little sunscreen's not going to be enough. You're going to have to get something that's a little goopier, that really is a physical protectant. I like the titanium oxide, zinc oxide sunscreens. Yes, it makes you look ghosty. However, it's a physical barrier that prevents the sun from getting in and actually doing anything to your skin. So high quality sunscreen is going to pay dividends. It's like a bank account. You're going to pay dividends on yourself. Do not use the stuff at the Dollar Club. Do not go to buy it in bulk because again, it degrades, it has an expiration date, and this is something you don't really want to take a risk on. When you go out there in the sun and you have an inferior quality sunscreen, you can get bad sunburns and you can think that you're protected, but you're actually really harming your skin. Who doesn't love a pore strip? It is the most gratifying thing. You stick it on, you take it off, and you look at all that gunk in there. Okay, so yeah, it's great, makes for great TikTok videos, makes for great probably Instagram snaps and all this, get a lot of likes, okay? However, you're really hurting the superficial surface of the skin. So what the pore strip is doing is it's got a very high quality glue on it. That glue is being stuck to the face, and as you rip off that pore strip, yes, you're getting the gunk off, but you're also taking off several layers of skin. Remember, the skin is that barrier that's protecting us from the outside environment. When you do that, you are reducing the efficacy of that barrier that the skin is providing. If you really have a lot of blackheads, comedones, a lot of oil, these kinds of issues, there's a much better solution. Get yourself a salicylic acid wash. Use that probably for about a week. Then stop that a little bit, go ahead and get a little bit of a gentle exfoliant, and you can really control and get rid of all of that sebum production in those T-zone areas. So much better long-term solution, less problems, less irritation, and you're protecting that skin. So couple of big caveats in this entire talk. Number one, your skin is super duper uber important. Its barrier functions that protecting you from the environment's what it's doing. Now at the same note, we want it to look good. So in that process, if you kind of do these quick and easy treatments, you really can hurt yourself and kind of put yourself behind the 8 ball long term. Invest in high quality sunscreens. Do not really jump on TikTok fads about quick promises, and just because a little is good doesn't mean a lot is better. If you've got questions, hit me up. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of great content on here, and you'll get alerted when there's new content on our channel. I'm Dr. Raghu ATHRÉ, ATHRÉ Facial Plastics, and we know skin because we like to make you look good.